Hello and welcome to this edition of Diaspora Central Spotlight. I am Gil Ingles, and with me today in the studio, ladies and gentlemen, is a young lady that can make things happen, is a young lady that is highly engaged, is a young lady that is determined to ensure that Africans in the diaspora are competing on a global scale in the world. Miss Noyto, welcome to Diaspora Central.
Thank you, thank you. You're so amazing.
Yeah.
Am I all that?
Thank you.
Being
We believe.
around you, just amazing.
No, you definitely are, because after all, you are one of those people in the community that is making sure that institutions and the community itself are working together. You engage in organizations, institutions, the community, governments, and that is a very important thing to do.
Yes, Gil, I really believe that together we can make things happen. We can actually involve the majority of people, the ones that can do and the ones that need things to be done. Join forces is the best thing.
Yeah.
Because for some it's so easy, for others it's hard, and you know, just it's development,
Right.
human development. That's
Indeed.
what we need.
Indeed. And that's one of the things that a lot of people at times don't realize, understanding that it is a process of development, a process of learning, a process of improving, is something that we, especially those of us in the African diaspora community, at times don't quite understand, right? Because it is a new concept. Working together, unity, is also a new concept in the diaspora, because we come from a continent in which we used to be considered each one to be from a specific country, a specific corner. We spoke different languages. At times, we even came from the same country but spoke different dialects. So being able to work as a united front or a united force in the diaspora is almost like a learning behavior. It's a learned behavior, excuse me. Because I recall when I got into the United States several years ago, more than 3 decades ago, people hung with the people from the countries that they were from.
I was just about to say that.
Right? Very few people went and crossed over. So me being an Angolan, they didn't have a lot of Angolans around here. So I was making friends in just about every other community. And I became that individual that hung out with the Congolese, hung out with the Ivorians, hung out with the Haitians, with the Jamaicans, with the with the Angolans, right? With the few Angolans that there existed, with the Portuguese, the Brazilians, with the Greeks, right? With the people from Morocco, and you name it.
You are international, so.
Well, we tried. We tried. But one of the cool things that I kind of learned through that process was the fact that we all had one thing in common, right?
Which is?
We all loved the countries where we were from.
Nationalistic.
Right.
Very good.
Yeah. And that's important. That's one of the things that you too have. So let's start by country of origin.
Angola. It's the best of the best. No, just joking.
Yeah.
You know, every country is amazing.
Yeah.
As one of my favorite things to do in life is travel.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm from Benguela. You know.
Benguela.
Shout out, Miss Universe 2011. We are so proud of it. We can stop talking about it. I mean,
she came in firing shots. I mean, goodness gracious.
Yeah, we have to
right?
To say a few things that we have done. Benguela,
Right.
no, amazing state.
Show them where you're from.
Yes, represent. We have just good singers, even soccer players.
Yeah.
Yeah, playing at Sporting and such. Man, first time Sporting was champion.
Yeah.
But continuing what you just said, it's so true. When I moved to United States in 2007, I got into my classroom, and then Asians were with Asians. Even the African American community was kind of separated. Their crowd were separated by tones of colors. And then I came to learn, as I studied
Right.
as I studied the African American history, that was one of the strategies
Right.
that you know, the slaves owners, whatever they did to actually make sure, you know, people don't unite.
Right.
Like, because most of the light skinned ones, they had access to education because their dad was
Right.
such and such,
Yeah.
and they could study.
Right.
So, and you know, to join forces on what we can, like the light Americans, the light African Americans, they had the education, the access to it, right? The opportunity to it, and others had more body strength because they were working hard on the fields.
Right.
I mean, that could be a calamity
Yeah.
for the markets, the
Right.
slave market. So we were taught from the
Taught.
beginning. We were taught.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
We were taught from the beginning to actually be to hate each other.
Right. Because I mean, divided is easier to conquer.
Right,
Correct.
right. If Africa continent were to be divided from the beginning by the tribes we had before colonialism,
Yeah.
we would have more than 1,000
Right.
countries.
Right.
So yeah, I totally agree with you. And times are changing.
Right.
People like you and sad. I mean,
Right.
I'm so grateful. Words are not enough to express like that is real. Like, you guys change lives, because since
you.
I've been a member,
Yeah.
my life really, like my vibe, my motivation, everything around me just changed.
Right.
And I will be forever grateful. I needed to be part of something that feels so home, so like
Yeah.
my final destination in USA.
Yeah.
I'm really grateful for you guys. But yes, and it's important to the work you know you are doing, and I'm grateful to be a part of it.
Yeah.
But continuing the African unity, it's time for that.
Yeah.
Like Shakira sang a few years ago, it's time
Right.
for Africa.
Yeah.
Because, you know, together within our fellow African Americans as well,
Yeah.
we are a powerhouse. And let's put aside all these color tones, all these languages and difference in food and culture. That's what makes us beautiful, actually.
Right. Yeah. The diversity.
Yeah, and let's make something happen.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, and that is very important, because I mean, even within the countries where we from, also those separations do exist, right? It's not something. Now, I think that our biggest and probably the last frontier is really our ability to integrate the diaspora and the continent into one. In other words, ensuring that the diaspora is represented like it should within the continent, and that the continent is also well represented within the diaspora, because that's one of the separations that is being part of the narrative to keep us separate. Now, but moving on. So you're from Benguela,
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
raised in Benguela?
Unfortunately, you know, I was raised in Portugal as a Bengalian.
Okay.
Bengal. Basically, you know, same way you see like very strong Mexican community in Houston.
Yeah.
I was really raised among my people. Of course, we will have 1 or 2 or 3 or 10 Portuguese friends. You
Right.
know, always look good in the block.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
but no, very Angolan.
Okay, very
Yeah,
Angolan. So you were raised in a very Angolan community
There we go.
in Portugal.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
All right. So let's go ahead and take a quick break, because before so we can take a look at a few images of some of the things that you do, of course, some of the things that you involved into, and when we come back, let's then kind of dig into what life was like in Portugal, because what we're trying to get into Noyto is the inspirations that actually are leading you to your aspirations today.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I can do that.
All right, so we'll be right back. Let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back. For those of you that just joined us, you're now tuned into Diaspora Central Spotlight with Gil Ingles, and our guest today is Noyto by way of Angola. Yes, She's one of those individuals in the diaspora that is making sure that we as Africans are ready to compete on a global scale. We'll be right back.
Sexta-feira de noite, a caminho da Galileia. Nossa, nosso beijo é a luz. Nesta feira de luz, o nome da dor é felicidade. Nosso rumo é a lua. Quero tanto te fazer feliz e te ter só pra mim. Coração partiu por causa da doença, porque se falou sobre a castidade. E eu me lembrei da minha mocidade, do sabor do primeiro beijo, da certeza. Oh, yo, yo, oh, mamãe, o dia do amanhã são coisas que eu quero lembrar.
And we are back. If you just joined us, you're now tuned into Diaspora Central Spotlight with Gil Ingles, and our guest today is Noito. Yes, by way of Angola, Diaspora, stand up. Yes. Noito, born in Angola,
Yes, sir.
raised in Portugal, in a very Angolan or very African community, right? I know that probably encountering racism, culturalism, and all other kinds of isms in that environment
Definitely.
was probably not very difficult. And for you may have been actually probably crazy, because I just kind of find it interesting. Like in Angola, you would be considered black, white.
White, né? Sometimes,
Right.
especially if I straighten my hair. The thing is, as far as Portugal went,
Right.
I was very normal because I was a black person.
Okay, so in Portugal, you
Right.
considered black.
So, during the Angolan Civil War,
Mm-hmm.
when it reached the capital around 1992,
Okay.
my dad decided that was the time. I mean, the capital was bombed.
Right.
Right? That
Right.
was the time to move along. So we did that little flight, São Tomé, Portugal.
Right.
And I was about 6 years old, and went to school. Had my brothers, half brothers. I only have half
Yeah,
brothers.
okay.
Shame.
Yeah,
Never mind.
it's
We
okay.
can do one more. Just joking. But anyway,
Yeah.
I was called black the whole time, even
Yeah.
though a little blondie hair, because when you're a child,
Yeah.
they tend to be lighter.
Right.
Everything's light. But it was a messy hair in the
Right.
front. You could tell I was,
Right.
and especially the way I spoke.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a person that is, except if I'm working corporative working, I have proud maintaining my accent.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
My African Portuguese accent.
Yeah.
I spoke in certain way, and I was called black the whole time, getting into fights because of that.
Yeah.
Beautiful. It
Yeah.
was worked for me.
Okay.
When I was 12 years old, war was a bit slow. So my dad, you know what?
Yeah.
Whoever passes the class for to next year,
Yeah.
you get to go for holidays.
Okay. And
Great.
and there will be holidays in Angola.
student.
Right.
I went for my 3 months of summertime in Angola, which is actually
Okay.
Cacimbo, a bit cold, but you
Yeah.
know, for a Portuguese, for someone that is living in Europe.
That's the dry
going to
season,
the
right?
beach and doing
Yeah,
everything.
Cacimbo is the dry
Yeah,
season,
the
which
dry-
would be the equivalent of a winter in America.
Right. Autumn, né?
Yeah,
Autumn.
yeah, fall,
Yeah,
fall,
fall.
fall and winter, right?
Okay. So, God, in my country, I'm being called white. I'm confused.
Okay.
That was new to me, a new a shock.
Right.
And during those times, especially after war, a lot of Angolans, we kind of had that movement from the interior to the capital.
Right.
People running away from the war. Some people probably didn't have much time didn't spend much time with the lighter person. Doesn't matter.
Right. Let me just get you to adjust the microphone towards
I'm
you.
sorry.
Yeah,
Yes,
so that
yes,
you're good.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So here I am trying to explain my fellow Africans how I'm black.
Right.
Because when I go to
To
the
Portugal.
white people country, they call me black. So that went along well. Later in life, when I graduated and I had the pleasure to work as a chief of protocol for the Angolan consulate in LA.
Okay.
I kind of felt, if I was a bit darker, my life could go better over here.
Right.
But then I was just taking, that was just me overthinking. It had nothing to do
Right.
with my color skin, which
Yeah.
is why I love Angola.
Yeah, you were being human. You were looking
Yeah,
for
the
the path of with the least resistance, right?
Yes, yes. It had nothing to do with that.
Right.
Which is why I love our country, because in a family, in a household,
Right.
on a household, we can find many color skins from look like Indian
Right.
to blondes to blues,
Right.
like people like to say.
Indeed.
And I have that on my family.
Yeah.
And it's just the beauty. And you can see that, actually, Angola, when it comes to that, being an Africa country, have a lot of women in power.
Yeah.
It's like it's actually ranked the 8th country. And we're talking about Norway, like countries like Holland and Germany.
Yeah.
It's the 8th country in the world with
most diverse.
most diverse people in
Racial.
power.
Yeah.
Really good. So
Yeah.
shout out to Angola on that.
Yeah, definitely, and which is something good, because I mean, of course, you have been part of the institution. You are part of the community now, the resident community.
Amen.
Yeah, that process, you grew up both in Angola and outside abroad. Of course, a difficult process to go through at times, because as a kid, you gotta figure out exactly what's happening, right? Which is not easy. Yeah. How were your parents as far as their engagement with you? What was their line of guidance to you? What were you to them? Or for them, what approach should you be taking?
I have to be real with you all.
Okay.
Diaspora.
Be real.
Diaspora.
Yeah.
Anyway, so, Mom, she comes from actual royal family, a lot of suffering, a lot of struggling.
Yeah.
Mom always wanted to straight my hair.
Okay.
And
your mom comes from a royal family in Angola, in Africa.
Yeah.
Right.
Her dad.
And which reign?
Ombundu.
Okay.
Like Bailundu,
Umbundu, right? So that's the Bailundu. That's the Bailundu reign, right?
In Huambo.
Yeah. So that's Equiqui the second.
So the third.
The third.
Yes.
Okay.
Equiqui the third.
The Equiqui. Yeah, there was Equiqui the first, the second, and the third.
The one
same,
that has
right.
it's in the roundabout. He has a bronze statue.
Right. The third.
So he had a daughter, Noito, which means love for the people.
Okay.
And he was actually, according to history and fellow Angolans, he was the only, I believe, king that didn't that didn't sell his own people to the market, to the slave market. That's why.
Okay. Right.
And his daughter had a daughter, and that daughter had my grandmother.
Gotcha.
And my grandmother had my mom.
Okay.
Yes, and
so you actually a crown holder.
Yes.
Right, because in the Ovimbundu tribes also women do hold crowns.
Yes,
right.
And it's that makes no mistake, because it's coming from the women lineage.
Right.
Yes. And so Mom was, like other time, like different times, my grandmother, and I totally understand her. And she wanted to marry again, and how during those times having a child from a white man, which was set up probably by her dad because of all those business relations, right? With the colonists.
Yeah.
She gave my mother to her sister so she can raise
To
my
raise,
mother. Yeah.
gotcha.
And my mother, being African woman, like all of us, grew up with some, like, let me get my kid to be, insert in good society, have good schooling and all that good. So
Right.
she used to put product on my hair,
Right.
straighten my hair.
So assimilation was basically the process, because for those of you who are not familiar, in Africa there was an assimilation process of natives, which was basically straighten your hair,
Yeah, we were taught
act a different way,
by
speak
the colonists that
a
our culture
specific
wasn't
form.
good.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Our land was poor. We were taught to deconstruct everything we knew about, because Africans were always very proud. It was the people from all, we talk about the Roman Empire, Arabic Empire, from all conquering people.
Yeah.
Africans were the ones that the colonists had to deconstruct
Yeah.
their beliefs to actually colonize them.
Right.
Because we were too proud of
Right.
our
Heritage.
ways, of our culture.
Yeah.
This is why today we call black magic or black anything that is considered bad because
Yeah.
that
Or,
is-
or not understood.
Right,
Anything
that
not
was
understood,
the-
you call it black magic.
Yeah,
right?
but
Yeah.
we will together we will get there
Right.
to deconstruct all these myths that
Yeah.
lay on the dictionary as we speak. But yes, definitely. And my dad, which was the Portuguese guy, he always made sure we understood where we come from, how beautiful and rich is our land.
Yeah.
How my dad always loved Africa. He went
okay.
there when he was 14, never left. Had kids during those hard times. He was never actually. My dad had black, my brothers, black wife. He was never the white guy that wanted to leave when they were executing white people, because he knew he had alive witnesses that
Right.
he's not into that.
Right,
So, he was a
right.
good.
Yeah,
So
he
yeah,
was a
my
good
dad.
guy.
Yeah, my dad was very proud of Angola.
Yeah.
Very proud of his kids. Matter of fact, I'm sorry to say that, but he actually protected a lot. Being in Europe, he protected a lot the dark skinned ones.
Yeah.
Because he always felt like they would be in a
Disadvantage.
disadvantage.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys,
Yeah.
my English.
Yeah.
Disadvantage and it's true,
Yeah.
in society they sometimes they were. I
Yeah.
can tell there is a white privilege going on, and that is so true. You can find that anywhere, and sometimes come from us too. Like
Right.
We Africans,
Yeah.
Doesn't matter our color skin. We always think that a white person can do the work better or
Right.
with more
Yeah.
seriousness. Anyway,
Yeah,
things to
I
be
think.
deconstructed.
Yeah, I think that discrimination is something that is definitely it's become basically part of the human DNA, right? Just for a sense of survival. You get into any tough situation, the first thing you're gonna try to do is kind of position yourself close to the ones that kind of look like you or feel like you, until you realize that they may not think like you. Then you look for the ones that think like you, right? Because first we go by what we see, then we go by what we feel.
Yeah, and
right?
not only that, like we also go a lot by what we read, because I mean it's hard for when you start reading and learning how to read. I mean you go through the dictionary,
Right.
and as human beings we call each other white, black, not so black, brown, whatever. We have various tones,
Right.
and it's hard for a child to go into dictionary and see what it says about black collar,
Yeah.
or what it says about white collar. It gets you confused.
Yeah.
And we respect books as human beings. Whatever we read, we believe. And yeah, you're totally right. There is something that it needs to be. And some people say, "Oh, but the dictionary, it's just talking about a color."
Right.
No, it's not just talking about a color.
Right.
Okay? We tend to think that books. Well, that's the problem. Books shape society,
Right.
but we forget that actually books shape society, which it shouldn't be like that.
Right.
society should shape books as well.
Right.
It's like
Indeed.
we're talking about laws.
Indeed. Yeah. But for that, it takes us being able to own the narrative, so that as we write in these books, we write in the narrative that is actually being lived. Right. We need the means and the processes in place to ensure that the stories being told are actually integral stories of those who are living it. With that, let's take another break and take a look at some more images of maybe I don't know, anything maybe related to things that you are definitely connected to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's
All right.
do that.
So let's take a very quick break. We'll be right back. If you just joined us, you're now tuned into Diaspora Central with Gil Ingles, and Noyto is our guest today. We'll be right back. And we are back. If you just joined us, you're now tuned into Diaspora Central with Gil Ingles, and this is the Spotlight with Noyto. Yes, by way of Angola.
Hello, guys. Girls.
Diaspora, stand up. We have royalty in the building.
Oh, my God.
Equipped with the third crown holder.
I mean, I'm very proud of it.
Yeah. Now, America, of course. What brought you to America?
You know, I always had a little bit of what you have a lot.
Okay.
I always felt like an international person.
Thank you.
And I always wanted to actually have take as a bachelor's international. Actually was relations first until I learned that is just pure diplomacy.
Right.
And I was like, okay, let me help some people. Let me help people getting money too. So I took my major was international development, which is more into macroeconomies, fiscal and monetary policies. Really cool, really cool. And minor finance. So why America? You know, London gets dark at 3 p.m. It's cold as hell. I always get sick. As a kid, I was always in Lubango with my dad for those eucalypts to smell them. I had bronchopneumonia. I'm always sick. So I was like, I need some hot weather. Original, I was about to go to LA, meet a friend of mine.
Okay.
But searching for housing and everything, I noticed my dad sent me, it's going to be really short over here.
Right.
I will have to hustle even to go to the movies.
There you go.
So I had some other friends, Alexander Vaz, Nashov Vendrik, here in
Houston, Texas.
They helped me, they hosted me.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, Houston sounds good. We have a big community of Angolans at the time, many. At the time, let me repeat, at the time, we had many people on scholarships. And I thought, okay, let me hang around. Let me hang around. And the economy was great.
Yeah.
I could get a nice apartment for lower money. So Houston, and it was hot, actually too hot. Yeah. And then I came to Houston. I was 17 years old.
Yeah. But Houston is a little bit more like Luanda, though. I think. In every single aspect.
Oh my God! Why would you say that?
No, Houston and Luanda, they're very similar.
I think the way of life.
Yeah, way of life.
Not the city.
No, not the city. The climate,
okay,
the climate.
agree.
Yeah, and the way of
attitude of the
life. Yeah,
people.
the attitude of the people, the climate. That's very similar to Luanda.
People like to be out and about,
Yeah.
dress nicely.
Yeah, Apueira.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, I see what
Yeah,
you mean.
yeah.
The a lot of dust.
Right. If you want to go,
And then
to,
a suddenly nice place.
right. If you want to go to Angola, and you need a place to rehearse what it would be like to be in Angola, coming to Houston is probably the best place.
Definitely,
to be.
definitely.
Right. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. But you were saying you were 17 years old.
Yeah, I was 17 years old. Started at HEC to kill some Houston Community College.
Yeah.
To actually, just do some basics for less money. Yeah, as you all know, international students spend way more.
Oh yeah, you pay almost double.
Right.
Yeah.
So after those basics, actually end up doing a little more, but advised.
Yeah. Yeah.
Associate's degree, which I didn't need.
Okay.
Went to St. Thomas for my international development degree.
Okay.
And that's where that was where everything started. My first job with Energy magazine, that used to broadcast the World Petroleum Conference for Houston area, the South area, as you well know, it's a oil capital of the world.
Yeah.
Started with that. It was my first job. That gave me the reputation to. Pursue my career. My professor referred me. Thank you, Dr. Stockton. Love you.
Yeah.
And I had I started something that I knew it was really easy to me. Like that's when you were born for that.
Yeah.
It's when you can on a high level, low level, doesn't matter. Connect individuals to organization, get things done. Treat everybody the same, doesn't matter if they bush, which I met, or just a simple kid receiving a donation in Angola. Worked for Energy magazine, then for the consulate in LA, and then I decided to go to Angola because of private matters. Never Portugal, because I always thought of. When I'm out of Portugal, I don't want to leave here again.
There you go.
Because there's a lot of rain. I love Portugal during the summer. It's a beautiful country.
Yeah.
It's my second home, But, I lived in Angola for a second, worked for Back Communication, this marketing agency, introduced a protocol and translation for them.
Okay.
Then I opened my own company for mediation, where I conduct with VFS Global, which is an outsourcing visa agency.
Okay.
We opened the first outsourcing visa center.
Okay.
In Angola was for China, then South Africa, Brazil, and then Portugal.
Okay.
So nowadays, when people go to get their visas, they go into this agency.
Right.
And the diplomats can concentrate on other matters.
Yeah. So that they have basically support to kind of handle their travel.
They collect the documents,
Yeah.
submit to the country, the host country, as well as the documents and some money.
Yeah. Indeed.
It's very convenient for the governments, so they can then concentrate on economic. And social matters where the two countries get involved on growing their relations.
Great service, great service provider. So an entrepreneur, notch also, right?
Yes.
So you have a little bit of entrepreneurism.
I definitely. I mean, every Angolan, right? You got to.
I don't know. I don't know if it is
being in Angola, depending just on your salary, it's quite hard.
It's crazy, right?
It is. It's a crazy idea. It's like being in New York and just waiting for your salary.
Right?
No.
You can't. Just can't happen.
No, you can't.
You gotta have a hustle.
You gotta have a hustle. So that was my translations were my hustle. And then I opened this company, DC Solutions, Diplomatic Corporative Solutions. Because sometimes all it takes to close a good contract between doesn't matter if it's a national or a transnational company,
Yeah.
multinational, between governments or individuals.
Yeah.
Everybody likes to have a neutral mediator
Indeed.
to translate their documents and conduct.
Yeah. Someone
Yeah.
trusted.
Yes,
Yeah.
from both parties,
Yeah.
and get things done. That was actually in Angola. I grew a lot as a. That was my first project by myself.
Gotcha.
I was very concerned because as a young, professional,
Yeah.
you want to make a statement in the corporative world. And I'm young, and
Yeah.
I'm a woman, and I'm beautiful.
Right.
So I talk a lot.
Okay.
I made sure I didn't talk.
Yeah.
Everybody knows their fault.
You gave them an opportunity to.
I was quiet for
to learn.
2 months. On my last week,
Right.
gave some tips to my boss
Right.
because I really know what I was doing, and everybody has their talent. That is mine.
Yeah.
That is mine. Even though I work with lawyers to make sure my translation was confirmed the various how do you say, the various countries.
A dialect.
The
Rules,
constitutions,
regulations?
Yeah, and we won all those beats that I've just spoke.
Okay.
Because it was a competition among various international companies.
Right.
There was a little things we had to do too fast, and that's the core of business I do.
Yeah.
It's translation, because anybody can do a translation to take 2 weeks.
Right.
Well, diplomatic and corporative solutions, we work on timing.
Got you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fast, 24 hours, no matter where you are in the
Right.
world.
Yeah.
And
Okay, so let's go ahead and take another break and kind of showcase a little something that has to do with what you actually in your companies or what Angola
DC
has to offer, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and then we'll be right back.
Welcome to Angola, where potential looms large. At nearly 500,000 square miles, this vast country is home to a broad range of landscapes spanning arid savannas to rainforests. Agriculture is already big business here, but has the potential to become much bigger. Of Angola's arable land, only 15% is currently cultivated. The provinces of Benguela, Huambo and Kwanza Sul represent 40% of total Angolan fruit production, led by apple and pear, followed by citrus and grape. As demand continues to rise, exporting opportunities have yet to be fully explored.
Angola, desde o ponto de vista agrícola, é um país onde se pode produzir tudo. Café, cacau, amendoim, laranja, limão, tangerina, o cultivo do ananás, a manga, a banana. Temos 2 estações mais ou menos definidas, portanto um período correspondente àquilo que se poderia chamar verão, e depois uma estação mais seca e com temperaturas ligeiramente mais baixas, que se chamam cacimbo. Temos uma grande bacia hidrográfica, temos muitos rios, ou seja, desde o ponto de vista natural, nós temos excelentes condições para poder desenvolver a agricultura.
And we are back. If you just joined us, you're now tuned into Diaspora Central Spotlight, and our guest today is Noito, yes, by way of Angola. Lady entrepreneur. Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
The name of the company, what is it? DC
Solutions.
DC
Diplomatic
Solutions.
and Corporative Solutions.
Yeah. Now, of course, you left the diaspora, went into the continent, started a business, and eventually the business is still running.
Yes,
Right, in
to
Angola.
be fair, I after the corona, I
coronavirus.
I froze coronavirus.
Okay.
19. I kind of froze the company because, it's very important to have face-to-face meetings and conversations. But I will reopen here, and I'll have a country representative there.
Okay.
Because I finally found the right individual to represent the company.
Okay.
It's really hard when it comes to this company because you don't want to be too serious, but you don't want to be playful,
Too laxed.
too relaxed as
Yeah.
well. So when I was inspired for this company, I read about the CEO of Amazon.
Jeff Bezos.
I believe so. I've changed with work, but
Right.
before I wasn't good at saving names.
Right.
I have to admit, I'm
Right.
better with faces.
Yeah.
But I believe so.
Yeah.
And I don't watch TV as well.
No,
Which I
okay.
do my best for the news. Bad habit or good, I don't know. I
Gotcha.
got from the boarding school I
Okay.
went to.
Oh,
The
okay.
Catholic nuns.
Yeah. What
boarding
school was that?
Colégio Liverpool College.
Oh, right.
Up north.
Okay.
There's a lot of good people study there. Shout out to the Liverpoolianas.
Uh-huh.
Good friends we made. The Colon community there. Good.
There you go. All right.
So yeah, I was in Porto, Porto City, where in Portugal where they make that marvelous dessert wine.
Yeah.
So like I was saying, yeah, I was inspired because he used to be a CEO of this mediation company that worked for the American government.
Okay.
And would be called like for things like, let's say, these pirates in the Gulf of Oman,
Okay.
in the middle of the Eastern Middle East.
Yeah.
Will try and go will surround this boat that is actually from the American government. American government is not gonna start shooting people because that's a new war is gonna come because they're gonna blow those pirates blow out.
Right.
Those pirates boats
Right.
out.
Yeah.
Right. They're gonna blow
Yeah.
them out.
Right.
So there you go. You call this company, say, hey, don't you have a fellow from this tribe that can talk to them?
Right.
Just they can get off the way. Yeah. So basically, what his company did, find a fellow from the same particular tribe, either if it's from countries like Ethiopia or Somalia, doesn't matter. You find somebody that from that tribe
Okay.
to talk with their fellows to get
Right.
out of the way. Because they're about to be blow or
Yeah.
not.
Find a
not
mediator.
Start mediator.
Yeah.
Let's not start a war
Right.
over.
Yeah.
Let me see. Negotiations,
Indeed.
basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, a lot of things happen just locally, just quietly. There is no need for major. That's the type of company because I always thought of myself coming from where I'm from and looking the way I am.
Yeah.
I always thought of myself as a very versatile individual.
Right.
Where I can just be comfortable. Either I'm in the jungle, whether I'm in a with among billionaires, millionaires.
Right.
Either I'm in the ghetto among, with my barefoot. I
Right.
actually like to say that I only have two shoes: Louboutin or no shoes.
Oh, there you go.
So
Yeah.
I like to think of myself as a mediator. I
Yeah.
think that's what I do best.
No, and
life,
that is good, and like you said, I mean, you actually found the purpose in yourself, which is you tapped into the fact that you are a very diverse person, and that you could use that diversity also to actually advocate
Yes.
diversity in the environments where you get engaged and negotiation. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, let me just make a note because I know some professional mediators work with arbitrage. Might be
Yeah.
saying that's not mediation. Mediation is conflict.
Right.
Like my teacher
Yeah.
says, Mrs. Barbara Manuso, I love her. Anna, mediation is conflict. Well, I agree, but I also like to challenge
Right.
everything that is on the books that I don't believe in,
Okay.
and go into the core foundation of that word. I don't believe mediation is just conflict.
Gotcha.
I'm a professional mediator. I understand that mediation, arbitrage, it's a conflict matter,
Right.
especially in the United States and all over the world. But I challenge that mediation can also be a advocation
Right.
matter.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. Now, so what is up and coming with NOYTO? What are some of the projects that you're working on? What are some of the things that you're planning to do? What exactly should people be watching out for?
As I said before, I recently joined SET. One of the best things ever happened to me.
Yeah,
in the
shout
United
out to
States.
SET Institute.
Shout out to that.
Yeah, home away from
We
home.
love you, SET. And, well, I always had in mind the But, well, I always worked with I always did my non-profit
Right.
work with EFA in Angola. Shout out to EFA as well,
Okay.
European Foundation for Angola Development.
Okay.
While living in Angola, we work a lot with the hydrocephalus kids, where Dr. Van Roost, shout out to him, he is actually the president of the Neurologist Association in Europe.
Okay.
With the Daniel Ribant, our president, for our EFA president, and Carlos Vaz, we were able to host Dr. Van Roost every year. He will makes surgery to up to 100 kids every time he went to Angola.
Okay.
People that could not afford to have
Right.
this
Surgery
surgery
done.
And we all know that after, like, if you are a kid and you don't get that done on your brain,
Right.
you tend to live your life with a
Deficiency.
So we work with the Hydrocephalia Center
Okay.
in Kefika. So that was all, and we actually also sponsor many things culture wise,
Okay.
like books. For instance, the same author that wrote that book, The Angolans That Helped Save Mandela, very accurate book,
Right.
which is very true facts. Anyway, so I do love to work with the community.
Yeah.
But I have, like we all do, I believe we always have a dream. Well, we all want to be rich, right? But more important than that,
Right.
before I die, I have this goal, which is unite all Africans, sympathize. Because, I mean, as if we study history carefully, we are going to understand that we're all Africans.
Right.
Yeah, the white, because only two Africans can make blue eyes. You know,
Yeah.
we're all Africans. The
Right.
world started Pangea in one continent. So I challenge the world and all of us to look into the past, make some amendments, and change the future. There is a lot of connections that were based, like you said before, in a reality that we don't live any longer.
Right.
Things such, like I mentioned before, the definition of black in the dictionary, related to evil, to all those terms,
Right.
or even black magic, or black humor, or black movies.
Right.
We have a Netflix when it's a dark. When it's a
Right.
movie related to dark drama,
Right.
it has to be dark drama.
Right.
Well, we changed. Like,
Okay.
actually, we came back to basics. Dark is beautiful.
Right.
We all love the moon. We all
Right.
love to go out and
Right.
about.
Right.
So it's time for a change.
Yeah.
It's time to get together, all of us, all the world, not just one race, not just one country. Africans, all of us, we need to start the movement with the sympathizers and get things changed.
Right.
I don't want my daughter or my son, if when I have them, whatever color they are,
Right.
to be connecting dark with bad things.
Right.
Because that's not what it is.
Indeed.
That's
Right.
not what it is.
Yeah.
And, if we go even back on history, might be even the lighter things.
Right.
So let's not even go into that, not make the same mistake,
Indeed.
and just change what it needs to be changed. And
Yeah.
this is an appeal
Yeah.
that I make to the world.
Right. So that's your challenge to the world. Yeah. Now, any shout outs or any thank yous that you would like to give, now would be the time to do so.
Mostly to my dad. He's not here among us.
Okay. May he rest in peace.
Yes.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
Because I think that was from him that I got this. All of us have some inspiration on where we got all this. How would I call it? I don't want to call it, but self-confidence, right?
Right.
Yes, growing up.
The strength.
Yeah, the strength. All growing up, my dad grew up really poor, really poor. He made he was a professional soccer player for the Benfica of Angola.
Oh, okay. So what was his name?
Salvador Macieira.
Salvador Macieira. All right.
Even that soccer player from Benfica, what's his name? Eusebio. When he went,
yes.
Their birthdays on the same day. When he went to Benguela, he went there
to
say hi to my dad. And the other day was really cute because the one journal of Angola brought back that group.
An old picture.
Yeah, and then that was my dad full of his beard.
Yeah, I actually saw that picture fluctuate on social media.
Right?
Yeah.
And my dad was really, really poor, but he made it. He played soccer, and one of his friends in Angola invited him to go to sleep in his place.
Right.
Because he was basically when he moved from the north to Luanda.
Right.
He was a few days, according to him, in the streets.
Okay.
But then he started playing soccer with his friends.
Right.
And then he did this, I would call engineer course for the roads.
Okay.
And then he started working with roads.
Got you.
So he was a man that value a lot. One of the things that he told me, why I never get off fashion, because we will be cruising in Benguela.
Right.
And everybody will say hi to my dad in his car, and he would, he would drive so slow.
Right.
I bet to see the girls
cruising.
Cruise,
Right.
And every time he had to say hi to with his hand, I said, Dad, why don't you just get a hand?
And stick it out in the car so that way.
He's like, and he told me, why I never get off fashion? And I said, why? Because I'm never on fashion.
There you go.
I'm never in fashion, right?
Right.
That's what you said.
Yeah.
That's what I said. And so I learned with him that what you do is more important than what you have.
Right. Indeed.
I think the only thing, that man never changed his design, interior design or anything.
Yeah.
The only luxury thing he ever did was his cars,
there you go.
I guess. And then he stopped as well. But yeah, very simple man, but full of
life.
Full of self-confidence and vibes. So I guess, and my mom too. That's why I believe they didn't work.
Yeah. And what's your mother's name?
Ana Maria.
Ana Maria.
Yeah, Ana Maria.
Well, she has a crown. So
she got her queen self going on. So she had a lot of self-confidence too.
Women from that tribe, from that specific part of Angola.
Oh my God!
They are very strong. My grandmother is also, my maternal grandmother, she's also from that part of Angola.
Yes, fam.
They are very strong because those reigns, they actually raised the women. They were very strong, very business oriented, very driven. There was something to reckon with. Indeed, yeah. But
she had many stores as well. But and talking about our queen Ginga, I mean the way she conducted the most important reign at the time, the
Zingabandi,
Zingabandi. Now we Angolan women are African women, and I mean, I have to say all women.
Right.
Sorry to my friend.
Yeah.
But women are just something.
No, they are. They are. In all honesty, we have to remember that they are the strongest pillar in communication, right? They the selector of society and community, right? They the ones who choose the husband to make sure that they can have the right children,
and
right?
not only that, they're the ones that make man.
Indeed, yeah. they create life.
There we go.
Yeah, they create life.
No, I'm saying to make a man, you can make projects of man.
Yeah.
But to make a man,
right,
you need a strong woman.
Right.
And shout out to all women, especially the ones that raised their kids alone.
Yeah.
We would be nothing without you.
Indeed. Yeah. Indeed. All right. Noyto, it's been a pleasure having you here with us. You know that this is a busy world and you took some time out of your schedule to join us here today, right? Consider this place home away.
I'm really grateful. I really appreciate you inviting me. It
Thank
made
you.
me feel so good.
So there you go. we needed some of that glamour right here on Diaspora Central.
Thank you, all of
Yeah.
you that are listening to us. We really appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you. So for those of you that just had an opportunity to check us out, remember that it's all about making sure that you take care of you. And remember that strength comes from within, not from what you have, but from within. Don't allow the circumstances determine who you are. No circumstance will ever determine who you are. Remember, if you want it, you can achieve it. Until next time, peace.